Welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm Little John.
I'm New John.
I'm Big John.
Big John. Guys, I have a special guest on our episode today. We will get into all that good stuff and drill this man with a ton of 50 billion questions. And Captain Missy just reminded me the name of that drink that we made was Southern Summer. So that will be another one to add to the repertoire. Today on More Than Dice, we have a new friend, John McAvoy. He's going to be talking about his new Kickstarter project. We originally were going to have him on at one time and had to scrap the project and come back and do some new stuff. So we're going to go over everything about that. But before we do, we need to get to the business. We need to thank all of our sponsors, Muse on Minis, for hosting our podcast and putting it out there for everybody to hear and see. You can find them on there or any other streaming services. You can also Creature Caster. Yay! We love these guys. Also, all the cool stuff that they do for us and provide all the cool products. Check out their paints. I will be using some of that stuff pretty soon. Metalhead Minis, of course. Lynn Stahl. She's a great and wonderful lady. We love her to death. She'll have some links for us for some products that we're selling pretty soon. And, of course, Dan from Tectonic Crest Studios. He is doing some really cool stuff. I am going to be getting a hold of him for some new product pretty soon and see if he can give a few more giveaways for us. With that, let's go ahead and go. John, what are you drinking tonight?
Which John?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's go. Little John, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking wild cherry Pepsi mixed with cherry vodka and a little bit of tart cherry juice and that's a splash of grenadine all mixed up.
Ooh.
Why? Because I fucking had all that in the fridge and figured why not.
Kathy, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a gin and tonic, but I also have some Earl Grey hot.
Hot Earl Grey. Mr. John.
Just straight water for me this evening.
That is my drink of choice today, too. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning and couldn't go to sleep. I had a very bad dream, and it kept me awake. And so I am definitely drinking a bunch of water because it's just, I need to do that. Do we have any salutes this week we need to talk about?
Sure we do. I honestly don't remember.
I feel like we do, but yeah, I'm with John. I just kind of...
Carl Reiner, wasn't that this week?
It's just 2020.
Yeah, Carl Reiner was this week.
That was... Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, great director and star of a couple different things.
Yep.
You probably most know him from the Ocean series where he played Saul, and he was great.
Or Dick Van Dyke.
I mean, most of our listeners aren't going to remember him from Dick Van Dyke, unfortunately.
What? Sophia's Nickelodeon, Nick at Night, and all those old retro TV... Whatever. Is that true? Is everybody here like 12?
No, they're like...
Kathy, I regret to inform you that would be 30-somethings wouldn't know that. Sorry. Remember,
I don't believe that. My friends' kids who are teenagers know the Dick Van Dyke Show and enjoy watching it.
Well, they're special.
All my friends
I
are
work with
special.
all these 30-year-olds and all, and they don't know shit. But then again, they're like, you don't know this? I'm like, no.
No.
I do not.
No.
Can't keep up with everything.
So, all right. So, guys, please look after each other. Please check on your friends. Give them a ring. Do whatever you can. Make sure that you look out for everybody out there because in this time, stay safe. Stay healthy. Come back and see us again. Come back and enjoy this. Cheers.
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 Oh, that's really good, actually.
Yeah, that water's
cherry
solid.
Juice adds like a little more cherry flavor to it without making it too sweet. That's tasty.
Captain Nikki says mentally, yes, we are all 12. I agree with that completely. I believe we here on the podcast, as well as probably 95% of our listeners mentally are 12 often.
Yes. So, we brought originally, John, you were supposed to come on our show probably about a month ago.
Yeah, about 6 weeks, somewhere
Well, so,
around
yeah,
there.
something like that. Because you wanted to talk about something that you had, and we were like, yeah, of course, we always willing to help everybody else out. And you had to tell us, no, I'm cutting it out, we're redoing, and you had to rehash, which is good because we're people that like, if you think you need to do it better, you start over, get it done, make it better for everybody. I'm gonna go to switch scenes because I actually have a special scene just for you. Oh, nope, not that one. That camera is not supposed to
And
be
while
on there.
you switch scenes, John McAvoy can tell us all about
Who he is.
Studio X.
Yeah. So, John, tell us a little about yourself, your background, who you are, blah blah blah.
Well, I've been painting for about 7 years, 8 years, somewhere around there. Just started out having fun with it, and it got expensive.
What?
Yeah, unfortunately, it got really expensive, so I had to find a way to buy more supplies, more models, and I did like a lot of other painters. Went on eBay, started selling my models and buying more, and just kept going. People contacted me for commissions, and it just kind of took off for a while. Things went pretty good the last 3-4 years. And my wife paints with me sometimes when she's got arthritis, so once in a while her hands bother her and stuff. So, but she comes down and paints with me. But she has OCD in the worst way, which is good and bad for me. It's kind of a mixed bag. So her side of the studio is, well, right now it's not, but it's usually immaculate. Mine looks like a tornado hit it twice. So and there's a dividing line, So, but she has everything just right. And the one thing she didn't have was something good to hang her brushes with. And so that we set out to make her something. Really, we couldn't find too much that was really nice, and we had clothespins that were hot glued onto a board and all kinds of stuff. And she wanted something that looked a little bit better, so we started working in on it. And we wound up coming up with the way to hold them, but it still looked like, as Little John would say, a bag of dicks. So I wound up talking to a guy I work with. The place I work with, they manufacture a lot of stuff, bring it in, and they do a lot of it. We deal with the manufacturers a lot, and he wound up hooking me up with a couple of engineers in the city in Chicago, and it just so happened that they were miniature painters too. So, and they usually don't handle smaller projects. They do a lot of really high end stuff, but they wanted something to just have some fun with. So I went and talked to them, and we wound up designing a brush holder, basically to hold brush and tools. Mm-hmm. And in the one video meeting, we were sitting there talking about how they all travel and do all kinds of stuff, and they love to bring their stuff with. So we just kept going. We added to it, and there was a lot of ugliness for a while. there was some really piss poor ideas. But
you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. But eventually, it all came together, and they started showing us renderings. Changed a few of them. Went and met with them a couple times, and we got about 80-90% done. And start adding a few things here. The shelving, we had to adjust a few times. There was a little odds and ends, but it wound up coming together, and I finally have a prototype to show everybody. Okay. That was quite rough, but getting that. But that's about it. It's we weren't sure if it was something we dove into all in. We didn't, we weren't going to half-ass it, and We wanted to make sure it was nice, high quality. That was in a small area, because we go to conventions. You're teaching, you could bust it out right on a little table section and have all your stuff sitting there, easy to load up and pack away. And so it all worked out pretty good. It's been, I'm going to say close, almost 18, no, more like 20 months we've been working on it. And along the way, we picked up a lot of friends and companies and artists and stuff giving us a hand and with the design and everything. Everybody's been great. It's been a fantastic, long but fantastic journey.
What is Studio X, by the way?
It's just a mobile painting studio. It'll carry your brushes, your paints, your models, up to a certain size. Comes with 2 wet palettes. We get a lot of questions why we put two wet palettes in there. And we had exactly enough room left over in it to fit 1 more wet palette in it. And you could use it for storage, hold your extra paper, sponges, screws, clippers, all that good stuff. So we wound up doing that. We needed the height for the brushes. Mm-hmm. In case we went through a whole lot of, I was at Dick Blick, I don't know, twice a week for 2 months, buying different brushes just for checking lengths and bringing them to them and doing all kinds of experiments. We wanted to make it for pretty much for everybody, So I like the longer brushes. My wife likes the shorter brushes, so we did that.
Well, I've got some of the. I don't know if you can see it or whatever. It's on our Twitch stream. I loaded up some of the pictures that you sent me, so you could talk about it. If you go to our Twitch stream, just make sure you mute so you can see what this is. Because the first picture is... Am I getting echo? I apologize, guys. Give me a second. How about now, Banyan? Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, it was wrong. I hit Gonzo and didn't hit Gonzo's mic.
There you go.
Yeah. I got the picture up here where it's the Studio X. Correct. This is an older one, but it was the one that we got sent. The second picture we have is the Studio X, and it's got all the parts broken apart. So tell us what each, the parts are, and give us kind of a quick breakdown of it.
Basically, the centerpiece is your main structure. You've got your 2 doors left and right. The 2 little cups in front of it. Those go into the top blue section up there. Those will come out. You can put bits, all your extra stuff in. You can use them for rinsing your brush if you need to. Then you got the 2 wet palettes in the middle with the lids. And then you've got the little ink and glaze wells sitting on top there. And then the little flat pieces on the sides. Those are the sliders that go down in front of the doors that holds all your paints. And then those we're going to be, if Kickstarter goes well, those will be upgraded to real nice hobby mats, so you guys can use them for cutting mats and all that good stuff. Okay. So,
wow.
A little surprise we can leave for the last time, but we left a little too much out the last time that explained a lot of things. So this time we decided to pretty much show everybody everything right at the start.
Okay, well, let's go look at this picture here. Why did you stop it and start it back up? Was it had to do something with the design? Was it?
We didn't redesign any of the Studio X other than we added to it. We magnetized the shelves so you can your minis will sit in there nice. The other thing we did was basically we found a light. We had a lot of people that wanted a light for it. The light part wasn't easy. We wanted to make sure we could get something that was good quality. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to put it out and then have everybody come back and say we had issues with the light. It's because for us to make one, we'd had to get UL listed. There's all kinds of stuff we had to go on. We wanted to stay away from the electronic end of it. So we wound up finding a light. that we were happy with. Had really, really good reviews, and so we added that and the magnetic shelving. But we shut it down the first time because of all the international interest we had. We weren't really ready for it. We were getting a lot of retailers and just a lot of people, asking about the duties and all the fees and the shipping and
The fun stuff.
Yeah, and we assumed we'd have a few to send out, but it got pretty good.
Those European costs can really be a killer if you don't plan for it.
So we had to find a fulfillment house that had some international hubs. So we wound up reworking that, just to do some upgrades and make it better. But that's about it.
Okay. We're going to the next screen, and it looks like this is the top part of the Studio X, where it looks like it's
Yes.
2 trays, 2 covers, the
Yes.
brush holder.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'm guessing that the handle actually slips and makes the top completely flat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a piece of luggage,
Gotcha.
basically. Slides back up, and then it tilts to the side so you can pull the brush holder out.
Okay.
Oh.
Awesome.
That'd be good. And tell me about this brush holder, because it looks like it's just is it a rubber insert?
Yes, this is the original. This giant, we made for the wife, and we definitely had to make it smaller and do some stuff to it. But it's a liquid silicone rubber, and it holds very well and it flexes very well. It was the only material that would do what we wanted to do with it and be able to hold different size. Tools besides brushes. You got some of your dry brushes, and others we got the thicker handles on them. Even the army painter brushes, they got the weird triangle size.
Yeah, triangle. Yep.
We want to be able to accommodate a lot of different stuff. So we went with that, and it holds really well. There's a video online on our Facebook page of my wife taking it, and she put them in and just sat there and shook them. And they don't come out, but they actually, if you just pull on them a little bit the right way, they come right out and they go right in. That was one of the nice things about it. And it mounts to your wall too. So if you're not using it in your Studio X, you can put it on your wall, pull it down, put it in when you go.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought there was
I can blame her for all this.
another picture that I had on there, but it's not. So you're going to be doing this Kickstarter. Why do Kickstarter not just do it straight out?
The costs. Just the molds. It's injection molded.
Mm-hmm.
The mold, insanely expensive.
What?
Then you have, first run you have to do with minimums, which we just originally when we did the Kickstarter, the first one, we weren't sure. We'd hoped it was going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
But with the response we got, what we did was, while we were refiguring everything back out, we upped our initial run, and that gave us a drop in price. So we dropped price this time. We extended that onto this Kickstarter we're going to do, which worked out really nice. But the injection molds are about $50,000 for it, and then you got your initial run, your packaging, all your other stuff. And it's a little too expensive for me. I'm just the guy in the basement painting miniatures. So,
Well, to be honest, this is exactly the kind of thing Kickstarter's for.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got your. You gave me the thing for your limited pledge runs. Can you describe, like, you've got 2 that are 135. You got one that's 155. Can you give us a breakdown? Because I know this is kind of hard for people to see, that they can go to your website and look at it and get all this stuff done. But tell us about the Studio X Banshee package.
Oh, that's Alfonso. We had talked to him, and he had sent me a message, and we talked to him a little bit, and he was really interested in getting a couple of them to look at them and to use for teaching his classes and some other stuff. And so we wound up working something out, and the Banshee package will come with. I gotta see. It's been This is the original one. The new one has, I think, is a little different. But it's got a bunch of his tutorials for his miniature academy on there that you get with the Studio X, and then we've also talked him into doing as one of the stretch goals, a 5-hour live painting session with everybody. So that'll be one of the stretch goals as well.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It'll be nice. Yeah, I can't wait to watch. So, and then Dave's obviously is his book.
Very good book.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. Actually, we sold. I think they were all pretty neck and neck last time before we shut it down. Alvaros and Dave and Alfonso were pretty close. It was pretty funny. Dave and Tim kept calling me and going, "Okay, where am I at? Am I beating Dave?"
Well, I regret to inform Dave that when I back this, I can't get the one with his book because I already got his book.
The new minis, though, there's 2 new minis. Actually, Kathy, you got the new minis?
Yeah. I actually have them right here behind me.
Tim has
I have the little girl and the monster here. That's what I get to paint. But this guy in the armor looks like he would be really fun to do some fun non-metallic metal on. I don't have a good way to show you on camera because this camera isn't set up for showing close-up cool things.
Yeah, it's 2 different miniatures this time. So
Oh.
releasing the twins. So we got 2 new ones that he's done. Very nice.
Okay. And then you sent me this one that has, I guess it's add-on packages.
Yeah, but the pricing has changed.
Okay.
Dave, we sent you this one, and Dave just redid everything. I think a day or two ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the prices have gone down by about I think it's $5. The brush hangers now $20.
Okay.
The wet is now $25. And the studio itself for the first 48 hours is $80. So we went pretty.
That's really good.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Pretty far with that. It'll jump back up to 90 after the first 48 hours. So.
And what's the price for 2 of them? Are you going to be doing a cheaper price if you buy 2 in the first 48 hours?
Let me check real quick. Dave's been in here running around and doing stuff.
The prices are not as they appear.
Yeah.
They're even better, which is the best way to have prices change.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, it's not up here right now. So yeah, it'll be in the campaign. I'm just not quite sure how we're structuring the first 48 hours with those.
Okay. Then you sent me the promotional picture with, of course, Creature Catcher, Simon Rez, and all the models that are there. And they look to be pretty big size models. I mean, I'm looking at it, and those are GW models. There's some Necrons, some pretty big stuff. And of course...
Is that a 50 millimeter base with those Mangler squig?
Yeah, the Mangler squigs won't... because they're
fucking huge.
But a normal mini with a 50 millimeter base will fit in it.
Okay, so one that doesn't hang over the edges?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay, and I also see the light on here finally. Where does that light sit whenever it's all packaged up together?
That light does not fit since it was an after, an add-on or an afterthought. It doesn't fit inside the Studio X. But what we did was we now have we're working on it. I'm hoping in the next few days they have the rendering for it. A travel case that it slides into, that light will sit on top. So it'll be a padded travel case with a shoulder strap.
Okay.
So if you're going, airplane ride or you're going kind of far, you can pack it all up in that, fit the light in, and go from there.
And John, just so you know, I checked with DT since he was on Facebook real quick. You guys haven't made the double Studio X pledge level yet, so you guys will be working on that.
Because this goes live
Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
We're there's a lot of gears in this machine. There's so many people and so much stuff involved. It's going to be close. We'll have everything pretty well set up by tomorrow. I think we're just doing some odds and ends stuff tomorrow, and that's it. So I'm still waiting.
7th July. The one thing about 2020 that didn't suck.
I mean, actually, I hear Hamilton's pretty good, but I ain't watched it.
And neither have I. So this is going to go live this Tuesday. We'll put it. We've got the link up on our Facebook page and everything going on. What was the most difficult part of designing this? Not the Kickstarter, because we know that you had to change around. What was the most difficult part about designing this travel case?
The handle. How to carry it. We went round and round. I don't know how many times. And we had to shrink the brush holder a little bit just to get it to be able to slide down the sides, and that was ultimately what we wound up doing. But I wanted it to look nice, and I just want a big handle hanging off the side or off the top, all the time. And so the engineers wound up working out this. It worked out really good. There was 2 or 3 variations, but it all worked out pretty nice.
So there's a question from Secret Agent Russ. A travel case for the case is what he's looking for to make it easier for somebody to carry it around, like, I don't know, sling it over the shoulder or whatever.
We'll have the drawings hopefully in the next 2 days. We don't have a prototype. The factory. I'll probably have a prototype in 2 weeks. I had to send one of the prototypes that was supposed to come here, wound up going straight to the factory so they could fit it. And so it'll have a zip top. It'll slide right down and in real nice. The light will fit in there, and then you just zip it right up, shoulder strap, and you're gone.
Fantastic.
That's legit.
Yeah, it'll be nice. A lot of little us having to cancel the first one really, it worked out in a strange way. I wasn't happy about it. Nobody would have been, but it worked out for the best. Getting everybody's input, and after you stare at this thing for so long, year and a half, you get blinders, and getting everybody looking at it and asking us questions and coming up with ideas worked out really nice.
How tall is this and how wide is it?
It's 8 inches by 8 inches by 13.5 inches high.
Okay.
So.
Wow, that's actually bigger than I thought.
It's compact enough, but you can fit 60, 60 scale 75 or Vallejo style bottle droppers in it. Which is really nice. The new monument, the old monument paints would fit. Just the same, but the new bottles are a little bit bigger. I think you can fit, I want to say 38 of them in.
Oh, wow.
That's all.
So.
You said you do have a prototype there?
Yes. I'll have to move the camera, but I'll show you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll increase your screen so everybody can get a big view of it.
Flip this around here, figure out how to work this thing. Oops.
Take your time. None of us are perfect.
Nah.
Oh, right there.
Let's see. How do?
Ooh.
Oops.
Ooh, I see. I see the one pallet is being used for bits and tools and stuff.
Yeah. So the second wet pallet, like I said, we had the exact space, and we're making the mold for it anyways. For the wet pallet. So
I like that it could either be another wet pallet or it could be a storage space for bits and tools and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and your extra paper and sponges and all your extra little goodies. We really pushed it for making every inch of this thing count.
Yeah.
So you can fit quite a bit of stuff. As a matter of fact, we were taking pictures today of pretty much everything you see inside of it. We took a picture of it out and showed everybody, or we'll be showing them shortly, of how much stuff you can fit in there. But you can fit up to 30 brushes on the brush holder, or it holds X-Acto knives, all kinds of tools, sculpting tools, all that good stuff. So, and it just, I don't know if you can see that, but it just pops right out the top.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And it doesn't take much to hang on the wall. It's
nice. Ross has another question. He's coming in with the hard questions here. What seal is being used on the wet pallet to stop leakage when in transit?
It is an elastomer inlay. That, believe it or not, was another very difficult one. Getting the elastomer inlay done for that. That took longer than figuring out the manufacturing. So,
yeah, honestly, transporting my wet pallet has always been the giantest pain in my ass.
I just throw the paper away and dump the water out.
And start all over.
Again,
and start
as
all
I
over.
said, pain in my ass.
I mean, that's just me, though. I like to do things the hard way.
We're out there, and I'd leave the water in because generally it was okay. If I put on the bottom, put stuff on top, unless my bag or box or whatever I used would get knocked around too much. I have one of those cooler bags that has a flap at the top, and I put all the stuff in there. It was way bigger than you ever need to be lugging around to the game store and all, but that's what I had.
Now, you said that you were doing magnetizing. Are the shelvings metal?
No. They'll be magnetic strips. We wanted to make them optional because we've already gotten people. Once we announced that, we had a few people go, "I don't want magnetic shelves," and so instead of making them permanent, we're gonna they'll come with the kit. There'll be magnetic strips that you put down on there if you want them or not.
Okay.
So that was definitely one of the requests in the first Kickstarter. Was they make that magnetic shelf so your models would slide around when they're inside there.
Okay. What are the just curiosity? What are the hexes on the top of the wet pallets for? What was the reason?
Those are the engineers left to their own device.
They're like here, let's make this look pretty.
If you want to mix a little wash or something, you just want to pour a little wash in there, or get a glaze going, or mix a little paint or something. In a well instead of on the wet pallet. It'd be good for metallics because you don't want metallics in your wet pallet.
Yeah, washes, or like he said, I think he said modeling buddy or clay too. You can put a little water down in the divot there for your green stuff if you're working on it. That way it doesn't stick there, and you may be able to use the whole amount you created, which is a rarity.
Right.
Or at least most of it you created. I can't use all of it ever. That doesn't happen.
Oh God, yeah. I always just roll it into little cylinders, so then I can use it to make coins later. But that's beside the point.
I've actually made like little D&D slimes and oozes and stuff out of a couple when I had way too much left. But that's again off topic.
Anyway,
which is our standard, but still.
So what do you have to get to There's always a dollar amount that you have to get to make this project go live. Have you already decided on that yet?
It's $85,000. It's the same as we had last time, and we've had some marketing people. Actually, had a lot of marketing people contact us and tell us that we wanted too much money. Told us that we should lower the number. That way, it funds faster and more people will jump on. And to be brutally honest with you, I don't like playing fuck around. I'm not set up that way. I'm just going to put the amount we need up, because if let's just say we put it up for $65,000 and we get $70,000, I'm still $15,000 short of what I really need. And I'm not going to back out of a Kickstarter. I'm not going to, go cheap on material just to get this thing out there. So that's pretty much that covers our initial run and our mold costs. And like I said, we had some marketing people, and I'm not dealing with them.
People have a whole different world they live in. They're making decisions based off of suppositions, which, as the person left holding it at the end, you got the hot potato at the end. You can't do that.
Yeah. I would rather ask for a little bit more. Make sure everything's good. And the amount of the last 2 years, the wife and I have footed the bill for the engineers and all the other stuff that's going on, and I don't even consider that, as part of the Kickstarter. That's just something that we put our money into it, and it is what it is.
Well, hopefully that ends up well too. Secret Agent Russ, of course, being our only commenter right now, is actually says that he hopes you use the picture of yours right now, where it's got the second wet pallet being used as storage and parts bin, because he said it'll help quiet some of the naysayers who were like, "Why do you have 2 wet pallets?"
Oh,
it doesn't have to be used as a wet pallet.
Always easier to show them rather than tell them inside the box.
It's a lot more pictures to put out, and basically, if the Kickstarter goes well, between that and the backer kit afterwards, we're going to have to keep moving along, show new stuff for the next 8 weeks. So we're kind of trying to pace ourselves a little bit. Dave's got to put the brakes on me once in a while. I get a little itchy.
I have to say, I really like the picture of the thing in use on your desk. Yes. I feel like that is a much better illustration to me of what you can do with it.
Yeah, because it's real use. It feels real. You're like, look, he's just using it.
Yeah, it's not just a picture. So I'm hoping. I've got 2 more prototypes coming. This one's going to Dave. I got to pack it up in the next day or so. I'm sending this one to Dave, and I've got 2 more on the way that are going to go out to other artists, and they're going to. The one bad thing about the prototypes is they're 3D printed, so they're not as strong, and B, the fit is a little off. So the doors are a little loose. There's some stuff. It's not going to be nearly as good as the final product, but it's close. So, and the other thing, it scratches really easy too, because they're gray, and I got to paint. We got to paint them, prime them, paint them, and top coat them. And but they still, from moving them around and stuff, they get scratched up. So, actually, I got a question for you guys.
Oh snap!
Oh crap! I didn't study.
So
I got it.
Do you like that? Or the original one was like a faded gray color. It had no color in it at all.
I like that. That looks good.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right, because we had the decals printed the other day, and we decided to add the blue in, and do a little something to them, fancy them up. But we weren't quite sure if that's something everybody would like, or they wanted the original look to it. But
no, that's fine.
It looks good.
It matches my shirt.
What?
Accessorizing is important.
So
there.
with everything that's happened of COVID and all this going in, did y'all plan on going to any conventions or whatever to kind of show this off? Did y'all have like something going on with that?
Well, we were gonna originally. We had a very difficult time to first go getting the prototype. We had the prototype scheduled to come in a week before Adepticon, and we were lucky enough to get a booth at Adepticon. It was one of the last booths they had, and I personally think they made room for us. They were really nice, but so everything was all planned, scheduled out, and then COVID hit, and we had for about 3 months. We had everything riding on Adepticon, being there, showing off a prototype. The whole night, I had a guy flying in from Canada. I had a guy flying in from Poland. Every year we have about 12 artists at our house that stay here for Adepticon. It's like a big frat party. It's really fun. A lot of real nice. But not having Adepticon this year really sucked.
Yeah, I'm in that boat too. I was trying to do a lot of promotion for Warfare Weekend and getting that stuff done too, and it really. And I figured you probably would have had something for Adepticon, because that's the place to go to get the people. When I put that, I mean Adepticon to me is not for the company, it's for the people. It's for the average Joe, and you can really hit that public. You can really hit those people and go, hey, look at this, I've got something, this looks really cool, and you can get, random Joe Schmo to look at it and go, oh, this is really cool. Take pictures and go back and get to it. And it's a real personal con. So yeah, it hit a lot of people. And I was curious when we started talking originally, I was like, I bet you they had something for Adepticon, and we all just got screwed.
Yeah, it was rough. We tried after that. It calmed down for a little bit. Or after I licked my wounds for about a week or so, I figured, okay, let's see what's coming up. And I tried to contact ReaperCon. I figured, okay, we'll go to ReaperCon and send them a message. It was about a week later. They got back a hold of me, said everything was on hold. They'd let me know, and pretty much ever since then, any plans I've tried making have gotten shut down. Everything keeps getting shut down. So
Warfare Weekend, we're in the same boat. We're hoping for the best, planning for the worst. So I mean, it's in November, so I understand completely with you on that, because it's a day by day, and we're like, damn it. With
associations who are planning their conventions for next year. There are some who are planning April conventions for next year who are not sure they're going to go off.
Yeah. Really think.
And some are pushing it as far as they can, just trying to hope they can hit that sweet spot where COVID is just good enough, people will go. So it is everywhere. It's a lot of places. It's a hell of a thing.
Yeah, because I mean, when we had our episode, we were talking about Adepticon going, that it not happening. We were like, this hurts. It doesn't hurt just the big studios. It hits the small studios, the small people that are just trying to get something like this off the ground, or small game companies that, because they're riding on that. They're riding on getting that foot traffic, that one-on-one type thing with it. So, I mean, this is it was a big thing when it it couldn't happen. So
yeah, guys, since everything's on hold, don't stop getting stuff. Get the digital downloads. Get whatever you can from the gaming companies that are still out there producing stuff. You got to. It'll keep them going, so that when this is all over, they're still there, ready to keep doing stuff. Because remember, as is for most people, it's worse for the gaming companies. They don't have the government bailouts. They don't have all that stuff. There's a lot of guys who are under normal circumstances living hand to mouth, and now you just made it worse for them. So we got to do all we can to support them. Those of us who are working, doing whatever, we got to try and keep up, spending money on stuff so they can keep their damn companies going.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
For a while, there was guys selling pots of Null oil for $50 on eBay.
Oh my gosh.
That's ridiculous. But the people who are actually buying them, that's a little ridiculous too, though.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things I was worried about. I'm like, when I run out of paints, I should stock up on paints. Luckily now things are soft open in some areas. Hopefully in your area, wherever you all are, they're soft open so you can go in with a mask on, limited people in the store. I mean, it's going to be a while before it's back to us playing games across the tabletop from each other unless you got a roommate who plays the game. I'm looking at you, Bania, goddammit. Play the game. But,
It's a liquid talent.
But yeah, so I mean, it'll be a while for that, but we can still go and support the stores, keep them going. Support the companies directly if you can. I mean, I bought some stuff from Catalyst Games, who's doing BattleTech stuff. I bought their new Mech Warrior role-playing game because I'm like, you know what, that looks pretty cool. Let's get it. Let's throw them some cash.
Well, I mean, it's like stuff stuff like this right here. You support it digitally, and by the way, what is your projected deliver date? Okay.
Wait, we're back to a real question now.
We're trying. We're I can't say this, but I'm gonna. We're trying. We're trying right before Christmas.
Gotcha.
So if everything goes well, and they already they're ready to start the molds. Drop of a hat.
Hashtag all I need is a miracle. Hashtag 2020.
It just if that goes well, I can get them in late November, early December, and get them shipped out right away. So I'm ready to have them before Christmas. That's our hope. Realistically, everybody's telling me end of February, early March. That would be more if we have a few issues. But the company that the manufacturer we're using, I've worked with them for 4.5 years now, and they are usually right on the money. They're really good. Basically, what they'll do is make the molds, send us 2 of the prototypes. We'll check them, and if they gotta adjust something here, a little here or there. That's it. Usually, it's one time with them. So it should go quick.
Well, let me give you the customer service first rule that me and my people at work live by, because I'm a customer service manager in my day job. Under promise, over deliver.
Yes.
No one's ever upset if you say February and it comes out into December.
Yeah.
And I also think that some of the best Kickstarters I've been involved with, they were late in delivering and it was okay. I'm like, dude, I understand as long as you communicate. The best one I did was a dice one. They took 6-sided dice, but they made them on 12-sideds. 1 to 6, 1 to 6, because 6 cubes aren't meant to roll. I'm like, well, you're right. And while they delivered several months late, he had so much communication. It was great. I could literally go back in the records and see everything that happened. It was great. That's great advice for that. Just communicate with people, and they'll be fine. I mean, we're all gamers here. We all in the same boat.
Yeah, there's a difference between, hey guys, we put on here December, but it's going to be February due to XYZ reason that's really is out of your hand, and your people are like, okay, I get it, no problem. Unlike some other Kickstarters where they're like, yeah, it'll be February of 2027.
Just don't be Ninja Division. Just don't be Ninja Division. They have this. I mean, it's a horrible story. People getting sick and shit going to hell. I feel for those guys. I actually know John Cadici, who's with Ninja Division. We work together at Games Workshop, but I mean, the worst thing, you just got to make sure that shit doesn't happen, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, shit, I think Secret Agent Russ has got another question. He does. Last question, if that's okay. What is that space between the standard size brushes and the top of the second wet palette? Enough space for the third as some extra bit storage. Ooh.
Okay, hold on.
Oh.
I'm going to measure.
Might not be, Russ, because I'm looking at the picture and it looks like the ledge on the shelving actually goes right on top of that.
Yeah.
Just.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The bottom shelf comes in there. You got a little bit of room in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
So. There you go, Russ. I mean,
yeah, there's
probably put more papers. You want to put your papers there too?
Yeah,
but those are thin, so I mean, I hope you can fit them. But if you get a good enough bag going with it, it won't matter. You'll have plenty of space for whatever then, because
right, little Ziploc bag or something.
Well, a little bag. So maybe like the bag that's going to fit in. If you'll have some, bound to have extra pockets in it, I would assume, for just some stuff here or there.
Usually something they're working on now. They want to get the renderings of the actual bag, and then talk about putting some pockets on the side, a little bag, and that kind of thing. So.
And then also, of course, D-rings or your D-clips are your freaking friend for that stuff. Just D-clip another smaller bag. I use this is my hobby bag. I just throw hobby stuff in it and all that, and then I D-clip it to my big bag, so it's sort of hanging out, so I can just put it on that giant bag. It means I got a lot to carry, but also means I have just about everything there, like my Dremel and shit.
Have you, besides the cutting mats, have you talked about any other stretch goals? Any that you're allowed to say?
Keep it safe.
I think Dave's watching this, so I'm trying to not get in trouble.
He didn't know we were streaming, but I did send him a link when I asked him a question, so I don't know.
Yeah. He's going to get me to keep a lid on as much as I can. At the moment, no, I don't talk much about it. Yeah, there's a few. There's the upgrade of the mats. There's the Alfonso's 5-hour live stream. Then I think the paint sets come into play later, and the brushes as well. And then we're working on 2 or 3 other stretch goals right now. So, but we're not sure. I don't want to say anything until we know if we can do them or not.
Gotcha. Yeah, of course. Yeah. All right. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I know that quite a few of my friends have, they're like, I want to bring some painting stuff and a few models because they like to go, like Captain Mizzy was going to go and do painting and such at Fort Wapple, but there's, it's bringing stuff in fish and tackle boxes.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And we go to El Marshall's place. He wants to have all his painting, and I'm like, I can't easily pack up my stuff anymore. It's gotten too much.
They have an entire rolling toolbox that I used to take with me to the game store.
Yep.
And it had all my stuff in it. Well, I had travel stuff, and then I had my regular stuff for here. I had a whole separate set of tools and paints and stuff that was just in that.
So, yeah. I like it because it's not huge, but it looks like it can pack a lot of stuff. I mean, just from these pictures right here, you've got one side that's paint, one side's miniatures, and then you've got the one that you showed on your desk, which is all packed with paints,
right?
Type thing.
And it looks like stuff's not going to shift around too much in it. Like if it gets kind of knocked over on its side, aside from if you leave paint in your wet palette, then it's going to run down. But whatever, don't do that. And if you don't want to magnetize your models, you can always like wrap in a little bubble wrap and
blue tack them down
in that side, or blue tack them down, or whatever.
Yep.
And yeah. In case you want to stick the thing in your suitcase or something.
Yeah, it looks good. It'll help with a lot of things. Make it easier to go back to the game store when they're backing up and running for Saturday morning painting.
Yep.
Yeah, classes like Anthony, Anthony Wang.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Wang. Yeah, it was his. The minute he saw it, he was always be great for my classes. For teaching classes, we've had a lot of requests for that as well. Just just nice and easy. Put it up on your desk, open it up, and you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah.
Gotta have a plug through the light, but other than that, you're pretty well set. So we kept seeing all the nice cases for everybody carrying all their models. We go to the conventions, and everybody's got. And I'm going, well, where the fuck is the one for the painters? Everybody's got them for the models. Where's the nice case for the painters?
Yeah. So if when this goes off and you get funded and such, you think you might build a bigger one?
We've had that request already.
I'm kind of curious because I can see how, like, for me, I'm not like a big studio painter. I'm just a casual painter type thing. But then you have, like Kathy or Jim that are, god painters, and they bring, 75,000 brushes and paints and stuff. Was that something that was in the works that you scrapped, or maybe a later project?
The engineers were actually, I talked to them about a week ago. We got to make sure this one goes first.
Correct. Yeah.
Then you can design the one with wheels.
Paul, I saw your and James' setup. That's wow. You guys are moving the house around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, we're a larger one. We've already talked to them about, and we just want to make sure this goes well, and then we're working on something else. We've got a few irons in the fire. Just got to get this one. It's been, as Little John said, it's been a bag of dicks for a year, and so we're not going to count our chickens before they're hatched, and we'll start on that one as soon as we know this one's good. But the next one should go a lot smoother and easier. This was there really wasn't much alpha lenses. I think was one of our biggest problems was we had everything was basically from scratch, and that was another issue too in the last Kickstarter we ran. Was I don't think we did a good enough job of explaining it. We've been staring at it for so long. I know every square inch of this thing, and we didn't convey it really well the first time. There was a lot of little stuff people had questions on, and I'm going, oh yeah, shit, I forgot that one. So now that everybody's seen it, we've done some videos, got the prototype. I'm pretty sure it'll go well. I hope. And then we'll move on to making a little bit bigger case or something a little different.
I mean, we've got the link whenever it goes live. We're all connected on Facebook. We'll share everything out to make sure everybody gets a word on it. Because I mean, this is the right size for the the average on the go person, type thing, or like you say for classes. Because if you're doing classes, you could pack one of these for you to go to a class and then take this all back to your hotel room or whatever. You don't have to take your Kathy bag as and Jim luggage. You can take the small stuff with you to your classes and then come back, type thing. So, I do have a question though. You do have Monument and Badger. Are they sponsoring this, or are they just helping?
When we first started, we built it, and I'm going, well, we got this. Why not offer paints and brushes and all the goodies that come with it too? They're all friends,
Yeah.
Jason and Ken, and I figured, well, we might as well add all the stuff in that you can put into it, and it just wound up snowballing, we just kept getting more and more stuff. I figured, fuck it, put it all in there, and hold everybody, and they're basically partners with us on the Kickstarter. So
yeah, I mean, and they're great people too. I mean, Badger's an amazing company, and I'm pretty good friends with Jason Craze, and he's helped me with Warfare Weekend, and just having him come out and good, down to the earth people that I really like. They're like, yes, this is a business, but I scratch your back, you scratch my back, and let's make this happen, and let's make something good. And that's the reason why I really like when people say, hey, what should I do? Go to these people. These people are awesome. They are about helping everybody. They want everybody else to experience what they experience. So I was just kind of curious.
I finally got to use the brushes. They sent samples. We've got more brushes here than I think we'll ever use. My wife buys she's like, oh, these look nice. We'll get some of these. And we'll have 30 of them.
Oh yeah. So,
but you sent samples, and I actually started using one. I think it was 3 weeks ago. They're fucking nice brushes. They're really good brushes. I'm not you'll never see me with a Winsor Newton in my hand or anything. A nice brush, because I beat the hell out of.
I want to know what brush it is.
It's where's it at? It's it's this guy. Bombwick Artillery Monument.
Oh yeah,
Oh, the
yeah,
monument brushes?
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started using these, and I'm going to use the rest of them. I just trying to keep them nice so I can show them in pictures, and they're not all fucked up, full of paint and everything. But they've been fantastic so far. They're my favorite brush by far. So
I actually
love
bought-
my bomb wicks. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about those from a lot of people.
I bought those last November. Haven't had a chance to use them yet. Because I'm not really big on hobbying right now and painting, so I was like, yeah, I probably need to start using those.
Send
brushes.
them to me, Gonzo. I'll use them.
No way. I'll eventually use them. It's just
They're
not
so lonely and unloved.
well, my wife. She takes it and winds up on her side.
So,
That never happens here.
Yeah.
it is about that time for our media section.
Media section.
We're gonna switch over to mix that.
Media section.
There's the media
I
section.
know, Russ, right? I don't have any, though.
For people new to the podcast, this is a section where we get together and talk about movies we've watched, books we read, games we played, whatever. And being the special guest, you get first pick of whatever you want to talk about.
I don't watch TV and I don't play games.
Do you have anything you want to review?
A lot of movies and reruns.
Yeah.
Let's see. Slither. Multiplicity.
Okay,
watched-
Slither with what is his name? From Firefly. Is that the one?
Not with God, why now you're killing me?
Oh,
I got an excuse. I've been drinking.
I'm old.
I'm talking about Serenity.
Let's talk about the actor whose name escapes
Oh,
me.
Nathan Fillion?
Yes, there
yeah,
we go. Is it the one?
Is Fillion. Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Is the Slither with the Nathan Fillion?
Highlander?
Oh, Highlander.
Highlander, yeah.
Oh, Highlander. Oh, with Christopher Lambert. Oh, yeah.
You get a weird smile on your face there, Ken.
Oh, Highlander. Highlander is a heck of a watch nowadays.
Uh-oh.
She's got to hide behind her fan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man, I love that. I love that movie.
I hear they're doing a remake, too. So,
There is a rumor going around that they're going to remake Highlander.
It's in development hell. It was originally Ryan Reynolds and hasn't had any real work done on it, I think, in a couple years.
Which is just leave it alone.
Ryan Reynolds.
Which
Yeah,
is too bad because Highlander, I think, is a movie that could really do a remake. I mean, I love Highlander, but it really just feels dated when you watch it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's very 1980s.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies you watch that sometimes don't feel as dated, but that one you're just like dated. It's just the way they made it. It's not bad. I love Highlander. Crap.
So
I played the Highlander card game for Christ's sakes when it was out.
we have a rating scale here. Did you ever see the movie Ice Pirates?
no.
Ice Pirates, there's this creature on Ice Pirates. Ice Pirates is an old 80s movie where ice is the rarest product in the world and pirates go out and get it.
Basically. Water.
Yeah.
Water. Of course, they freeze and transport.
Yeah, they freeze it for transport and it's, and it's in space. And there's a creature that gets on their spaceship and it freaks out everybody on the spaceship, and it's called a space herpes. And so we rate our movies from 0 to 5 space herpes. The more space herpes, the worse the movie is. So we always have our one rating, and that one rating is that. So do you think Highlander? Do you give it 0 space herpes or 5 space herpes?
I give it 1.
Give it 1. Why do you give it 1 out of 5?
Because it's like Lil John said, it's a little. It could use some updating. I mean, it was a little cheesy, but still a good, solid movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus, it's got Christopher Lambert in it, and look at that smile. Look at Kathy. Look at her smile.
And Sean Connery with the greatest Egyptian accent
Oh,
ever.
good lord, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost as good as his Russian accent. Oh, Sean
He's the
Connery.
best
Love you,
James
bud.
Bond, though. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think anyone really argues that one. So,
Yeah, I mean,
general,
they might, but they would be wrong.
I mean, Pierce Brosnan tried his damnedest, but I don't think the material was good enough.
Yeah. So I have one that I can go with real quick. I started watching on Netflix during the breaks of playing games and eating is the new series on Netflix called Warrior Nun. I don't know if anybody saw the commercials for it or seen the trailers. Warrior Nun is about a girl that receives some superpowers so she can fight demons. It is a TV show. I think it's only like maybe 10 episodes or something like that. It's really short, but each episode is about 55 to an hour long. This show's slow as shit. The first episode, you're like, okay, cool. This girl's dead. The person that has the halo of power, it's the halo from an angel, dies, and they transfer it to this dead girl to get it away from the demons. I'm like, okay, I got it. This is standard type trope type thing. And she gets it, and she comes back alive, and she's got superpowers. She runs away, and she doesn't get to do, anything, and she starts building a romantic relationship on episode 1. And you're just like, oh, okay. So for 2 episodes, they build up trying to find her to bring her back to the nunnery to teach her to be this badass assassin. So for 2 hours, you're waiting for the story to start. So it just takes a long time. The big demon that they're trying to fight that's trying to get the halo and stop them is called a Tarask. And I was like,
So you need to reduce it to like a negative 100 hit points and wish it to be dead?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I instantly went D&D on it. I was like, so they got to take it to this, they got to wish it. Okay. The story has merit to the show. The acting's not bad. Yeah, Benny on Tarask. But it's not good. It could be better. I'm just like, guys, there's a secret society of nuns that go around kicking demons' butts and going around doing things, and they all have superpowers that they can do too. And everybody's named after a certain thing. Like there's a Sister Mary, Sister Lilith. They've all these code names of who they are and such. And I'm like, okay, it's just really freaking slow. I think finally by the 4th episode, she starts realizing that she has powers and abilities and starts kind of using them, and you're just like, that's 4 hours into a TV show. I'm like, you could do a whole lot better. You could have started this. I can understand building up in 1 episode, but for an hour-long TV show, it's taken a long time. Right now, it's got my meh meaning of like 2.5 space herpes, but I want to wait to see it. I'm going to watch the rest of them, because, I mean, like I said, it has merit. It's just not there yet. It's actually a big production show. There's actually, it's got good. The special effects are pretty good. The acting's good. The setting's really good because it's all overseas in like Spain. So I mean, it's got some cool things in it. It's just, man, you're just taking a long time to build up this story. So for right now, I'm at a 2.5. I'll watch the rest of the episodes and give a final rating on it and see how it is. Kathy, what do you got for us this week?
First, tell Russ the name of it again.
Oh, Warrior Nun.
Oh, Warrior Nun.
Warrior Nun. It's the worst name for a show, too, so.
I mean, it kind of sounds like it's trying to do what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's... Yeah.
Hey, look on the bright side, Gonzo. It's not an anime, because if it was an anime, you'd know it'd be the kind of anime you wouldn't like.
That's true. With a name
Most
like
likely.
Warrior Nun, that
Most likely.
That just calls for lots of cartoony bath scenes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's Gonzo's favorite.
No, it is called Warrior Nun.
It was just as cheesy as you thought you heard, Russ.
Yes.
So yesterday I watched Lost in Translation. This is why I should write things down. Lost in Translation with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, watching that after watching a bunch of episodes of Midnight Diner, which was that's the Japanese show that I was talking about last week. I've seen about 8 episodes of that now. I still like it a lot. One episode was less good than the others. But anyways, that was the perfect thing to watch before watching Lost in Translation, which takes place in Tokyo. And I absolutely loved it. It's zero space herpes for me. I liked Bill Murray. I thought he was good. I thought Scarlett Johansson was good. I thought that her husband was, a self-absorbed jerk. And I liked the ending. I think there's some people who would have been like, the ending should have been different. But I liked the way it ended. This was interesting, and it made you think.
Cool. John?
I haven't seen it.
No, I mean, no. Do you have what's yours?
Mine. Well, every July 4th, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna watch Independence Day because damn, it's a good July 4th movie.
Yeah, it is.
Every July 4th, I go down and look on the shelf, and I fucking realize that the ex-wife took that. And I forget to order it during the year because it just falls off the radar. So I'm stuck watching Live Free or Die Hard again. And again.
And again.
So I watched Live Free or Die Hard, which is the 4th Die Hard movie.
You could have watched Mars Attacks, which is almost just like Independence Day.
But I also don't own that one either, So, I mean, honestly, if you don't know what Die Hard movies are, but in this case, basically, it's all technological, so the whole idea is that, of course, John McClane's old, and, he doesn't get technology like other people do, because he's dumb. Because the guy who's done all this stuff he's done and learned how to fly helicopters and shit, because he does that in the movie, is dumb. So, there are points where it just sort of taxes your credulity, but there are also good points. Though I do find the longer we get into what I'd like to call the action renaissance, with all this wonderful, realistic or semi-realistic action, the scenes in this movie that aren't realistic, you're like, oh god, that's not how that physics called. They wants to talk because that's not how this works. Like, I don't mind like the standard stuff, like him launching the car at the helicopter. That's actually a really cool scene. I'm okay with that. The parts I have a problem with are like how apparently cars are not controlled by humans, and when lights all turn green, people are just stupid and run into each other anyways because they're only looking at the light. They're not looking for other people. I mean, sure, there'd be some accidents, absolutely, but I'm willing to forgive that part of it. But the action, just every act, there's an action scene, you're just like, for fuck's sake, really? There's this whole scene where they go down into a tunnel, so the bad guys who are hacking everything. And Benny and I decided this is the most realistic, unrealistic hacking movie ever. You're like, well, it seems like you could do things the way they're doing it, but that thing would not be on the internet hackable like that. It just wouldn't. But anyways. So they sent all these cars down tunnels, and they just run into each other because they're not paying attention. As soon as they saw lights, they're like, oh shit, people are coming at me, lights, people start slowing down because that's what people do. But in any case, you give that one a pass in Act 1. And then he kills the helicopter with a car because, I mean, why not? That was cool. It was a cool practical stunt. Let's see. Act 2. I'm trying to remember what Act 2 is unrealistic. Oh, where they overload the gas line and send it all back to one station because that would work by computer. You wouldn't have any cutoffs or anything. You could overload the station and have it blow up. Fucking A. And then, of course, I mean, everyone knows Act 3, which is him versus the F-35, which is literally the point where I think they should have stopped the series and went, nope, we've gone too far, this is done. Despite all that, I actually like Bruce Willis. I like his interaction with Justin Long, who's his computer nerd sidekick with this. Timothy Olyphant as the villain is, I mean, of the 4 Die Hard movies I've seen, he is easily the worst villain. It's not even close. Like, Die Hard 2's villain, you're like, he's
worst
okay.
Worst is in terrible or worst is in evil?
Terrible. Okay. I mean, obviously, it's Hans Gruber. It's Jeremy Irons as Hans Gruber's brother, and this as number 2. William Sadler as the Colonel plus his guys are obviously number 3. And it's a little far between 2 and 3. And then it just goes way down, and number 4 is this fucker. I mean, I like Timothy Olyphant in Justified, but
not amazing in Justified.
They could have gotten someone better, I think. He's not bad, but he doesn't bring the right kind of gravitas to this. He's trying, though. I would not fault him for trying, absolutely. But what I really like about this, there's a couple scenes in here that are still good, and there's one scene in particular that they're driving to stop the bad guys, and just as long as like, man, I'm not built like you, I can't do this. Just you're talking about like, you're all heroic. So I'm like, I'm not heroic. It just gets you, he goes off, I'll get you divorced, children won't talk to you, a lot of meals on your own. And he's like, why do you do it? He's like, because there's no one else to do it. If there was someone else to do it, I would let them do it, but there isn't. And I just love that moment in the movie. It really is sort of the essence of John McClane. So in a movie where they get all the action wrong for Die Hard, because it was always so realistic in the first one, it just got a little crazier as you go. They had the one true moment. All that to say, it is an above-average action movie overall. I'll give it about 2 space herpes. I could make a case for less, but I'm not going to. You probably ought to watch it with a little bit of alcohol, take the edge off a couple of those scenes, and just, like you do with like a Fast and Furious movie, just put physics over in the corner and tell it to stand there till you're done. Because it doesn't have a place here. But I enjoy it. Now, remember, next year, someone remind me to buy Independence Day before July 4th.
All right, buy Independence Day before July 4th.
Not while I'm on the podcast.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant now.
Jesus.
I have one more, and it's I've been playing a little bit of Last of Us 2. For everybody know, Last of Us, it's one of my top 5 games of my entire time. Made by Naughty Dog Studios to do all the Uncharted games, so on and so forth. Great video game studio. They make movie story games. They don't make games. They've always got really good story, really good feels. It's a solid game company. Last of Us 1 is a story about an older man helping this younger girl get to a safe place because zombies are taking over the planet. It's post-apocalyptic. The zombies are based around the plant zombie thing that's going around. I'm sure you've seen the video where the ant's taken over by the fungus or whatever, and it's being controlled. And that's what the zombies technically are. It's a spore that does it. It's not like Living Dead. And Last of Us 1, like I said, it's one of my top 5 games of all time. Loved it. I even actually cried at the end because it was so freaking good. It was just incredible. Last of Us 2 picks up years after, and it's got the same shocker type scenes in it that are gut-wrenching in it. I'm only a little halfway through it, I believe. Graphics are insane. This game's graphics are just incredible. I can't wait for the PS5 to come out, because if I'm seeing these graphics with the 4, the 5, it better just fucking blow my mind. The gameplay is very similar. You can't go around running, gunning. You have to be very careful and stealthy and take out things, in a quiet manner, or, you alert zombies, so on and so forth. There's quite a few scenes. There's one scene that already made me go, oh, fuck. And you just like, shit, I gotta put my controller down for a second because it was just done so well. My biggest complaint about this game so far is, while you are playing one of the characters from the original, about halfway through, you play the bad guy. And I don't know how I feel about that, because it's one of those things, I don't want to feel bad for the bad guy. It's like, I don't want to see the Joker movie, because the Joker's a piece of shit and evil as hell. I don't want to feel bad for him. And so they kind of put you in those shoes where you play as the bad guy of what happened before the story happened. And so you're kind of, going back in time and learning how to do this. And it's interesting because the female character they have is actually, she's not big boobed, she's not big waist, she's actually a muscle built, jock woman. She's, she's a stacked woman and stuff. And it's actually really good, in my opinion, to see that in the game. Because Absolutely. There is a nude scene with her in there. And she's got, she don't have the big breasts. She's got, like, bodybuilding body. And I was like, that's cool. Because, it's showing the diversity and it's showing... And it's not, glorifying type thing. Mm-hmm. Gameplay, still hard, but not difficult. Still a good challenge. Still a lot of fun. I just don't know how I feel about playing the bad guy. I don't want to feel bad for the bad guy because of what the bad guy did at the very beginning. She was a really shitty person, and what she did was really shitty. I just don't want to feel for her. I don't want to go. Don't kill her.
It's tough because there are villains you want to, you can feel for.
Yes.
But there's some, even though you sort of feel for them, you don't want to like play them. Like, since we mentioned earlier, like Serenity, you wouldn't play a Serenity game as the operative. That guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He may have noble intentions, but still a piece of shit. And fuck him. I'm gonna get him killed on purpose because I can.
And so I had to put it down for a bit because I was like, I really don't want to see her story. But I Naughty Dog's in a great game. The story's still good. Gameplay's still good. Everything's still flowing really well. When you go from a cutscene to a play scene, you don't notice a difference in graphics or movement or anything. It is very solid and smooth. It's like, here is the cutscene, and now you take control of the character. And it's all seamless, and it's just an amazing game. One of my favorite game studios. So far, it's only gotten like one space herpes because I don't want to play as the bad guy.
Yeah, that's tough because that's a hell of a thing.
Yeah. Because you got to make decisions that you're like, nah, I want her to fucking die. Run into a zombie. I don't care. And you're like, no, you got to get it so you can finish the story.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Hats off for innovative, but might be I've heard some mixed reviews of points, and I haven't looked into it because I haven't played The Last of Us 1. I'm probably not going to play either game. Most I would do is watch a gameplay online, so I don't want to necessarily ruin it just in case I do, but that's sort of understandable why they're getting some negative feedback here or there.
Well, the thing is that the game is very much a gut punch to the emotions. And I mean, a hard gut punch. I know people...
Sounds like a game I would never play.
It really puts you in the feels.
I wouldn't want to play that. I want to play a game to escape.
Well,
not
this one
have my soul crushed.
Yeah.
This one, and it's what kind of makes Last of Us kind of unique and everything, is that it doesn't hold punches. It's not gonna, throw flowers around it. It's like, yep, people are gonna die. And like, there's a video that's the first 15 minutes of Last of Us, and it sets the mood for the entire game, and you're like, fuck, this game's gonna kill me, isn't it?
And I want fucking flowers.
Where's my rainbows?
Yeah. But I mean, and that's kind of also a reason why I like this too, because this game makes me feel emotion, and I like that. Is it always a good? No, because there's days I'm like, I really don't want to deal with all the sad shit in this game yet.
It's an interesting choice, especially given the current,
correct
political climate. I avoid stuff like that right now because I don't need that shit. I can't.
But they are in talks to make The Last of Us into a TV show, which I'm kind of like, okay.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, it's another zombie show, so I'm kind of like...
I'm just not into zombie things.
Is it another humans fucking each other over in the apocalypse? Because I already watched one.
Fucking each other and fucking each other over.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, no.
Yeah, I can't. Like I said, you can only watch one humans fucking each other over during the apocalypse show. I watched Battlestar Galactica. We done.
Yeah, that's a good one for that.
It's
a good show too, but yeah.
It is, but it's to the point where you just got. you got to back up and you got to watch something a little more uplifting and happy.
Yeah.
Lighthearted. So
like
I thought that was
Midnight
interesting.
Diner. Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix.
So I did want to bring up that there was news that the people that are behind Westworld are now making a Fallout TV series for Amazon, which is from the Fallout game series, which is a great TV, great game.
I saw that too, but I don't got a horse in that particular race.
Yeah.
I've never played a Fallout game.
Oh, Fallout is a great game. It's got plenty of good things, and for them making a Fallout TV show, they could do awesome with it. It could be really good because it's done by the Westworld people. It's going to be on Amazon, so it's got good backing behind it. But you're kind of like this casually optimistic thing,
Yeah.
Please be good, and if you aren't, you're not going to be able to do shit for a while. Type thing. So,
well, I actually want to give a shout out to a YouTube channel that I watch stuff on. Since we're finished up media section here, they're called the Black Pants Legion. They are not safe for work, but they are a hoot. I especially suggest. Obviously, I watch a lot of the BattleTech stuff, which is half serious and half hilarious. But I actually suggest the Fireteam Whiskey, which is them playing some online, good guys versus terrorists, Call of Duty type game called Insurgent or Sandstorm or something like that. Just listen to those guys in the chat as they do that is hilarious. I have not laughed as hard as I did during their most recent video in a long, long time. So hats off to Tex and those boys. They do a good job. Check out, they got a lot of stuff. I also watched, it was Tex and Deputy play Far Cry 5, which was also pretty hilarious.
Far Cry is a good game too. That's a really solid one.
So it's fun because they, again, they're not necessarily work friendly, but they are pretty good dudes overall, and they're funny as hell. We can use some of that.
Big John, do you have anything, other movie or media you want to glorify us with?
No, I'm good.
Okay. We start rambling and we start talking about different things, so I didn't want to make sure you got everything.
We will go.
Yeah, we will go forever.
Listen, if you have any questions, let us know. We're happy to answer. Just want to get it all out before we go live, and we're online, and that's about it.
Do you have a Facebook page? What's your Facebook page called?
Mini Masterworks.
Okay. Definitely, whenever it goes live, we'll share out your post, and if just tag us in it to make sure, because we're all pretty busy, and I'll keep an eye out for it when it goes on, and we'll share it on our Facebook page, and I'll share it on my personal one, get the word out, help you spread the news, because we always want people to be successful. We always want people to be successful, no matter what it is.
And there's Ballsacious coming in at the very end once again. Hey, Balls.
Balls.
Your timing is impeccable.
Of course.
But we love you.
Guys, when like I said, this will go live Tuesday. You can find the link either on theirs, the Miniworks, or on More Than Dice. We'll have it up there, so you can go to Kickstarter and help these guys out. Thank you for joining us. For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm New John.
I'm Kathy.